think about this shit. Let's talk, man. Let's talk. Eating outs become increasingly difficult when you think about other things while you're talking. Like, I literally be forgetting about shit while I'm talking. But let's get on to the topic of drugs and drug abuse. I feel J. Cole and everything he said. Like, of course, people abuse drugs with no true introspection on life and no real quest on trying to figure out what the fuck they doing. They just doing these things just for fun, and they just doing these things just for an escape. And just using the word escape, just realize what you're running from, like, period. Why are you escaping? Why do you keep having the urge to escape? Like, what do you need to do to stop this feeling from wanting to escape? And I can contest to this because, like, I used to go out to clubs. I used to go out to, even we'll go to a different state and on vacations. Like, bro, on these vacations in these clubs, it's like, bro, I'm not really having fun. I'm really bored, and I'm borderline depressed in this whole because even if I'm attempting to have fun, I know I got to go back to pay bills at home. I know I got rent on the way. I know I still got these lights. I know I still got, like, I know I'm still not secure in my life. So why am I out here celebrating? Why am I out here having fun? And it was just like I had no balance, and that's why, I was falling. I was just doing dumb. I was young. I'm still young now, but still, it got me here, but I had to go through that bullshit. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say alcohol didn't help me figure that shit out, because literally I was drunk and I'm churning up and it's helping me connect to myself. I'm like, damn, bro, how many times you gonna keep getting this drunk? Like, how many, like, where are you at in life where you haven't, like, but people ignore that thought. People ignore that realness. It's like, bro, you can ignore the shit that you saying when you drunk. That's crazy, because you gotta understand, everybody say real shit when they drunk. Everybody speak their truth when they drunk, because, like I said, they connecting to themselves. And you have the urge to be honest. If you're around somebody you really don't fuck with, if it's a friend or a friend, you gonna really want to tell them they flaw. Like, you gonna want to tell them the things that you don't like about them. And it's not that it's wrong. That's your perspective on them. And sometimes you don't need to be around these people. And alcohol shouldn't have been the reason you told them that. Alcohol only was really opening up your true feelings that you were hiding back, trying to be nice and shit. But we gotta understand, it ain't always about being nice to ourselves. It ain't always about being nice to other people. And I think when we do drugs, like alcohol, I'm gonna stack on this for a while. Like alcohol, when you being honest with other people, have you ever tried to be honest with yourself? And a lot of people, I guess, are powerful enough to ignore that shit. They'll talk shit to other people, but they'll exclude themselves. And it's like, no, if you really use that drug or that alcohol or that spirit to be truthful with yourself, you can figure out a lot more shit. And like I said, alcohol started waking me up, to be honest, because I wasn't really, I was drinking and smoking weed pretty much about the same rate, I say, in my college years. Even though I hated drinking, I loved smoking, I still was drinking. And that shit was waking me up every time. I throw up and do all these different things. And like just the fact of using it, it's like, bro, this shit ain't with me. I don't vibe with this shit. Today I really don't drink, period. I might pick up, I might take a shot. Like, I don't give a fuck where I'm at. I'll be at my friend's birthday. I'm like, I'm good, bro. I am really not trying to drink that shit nasty, but I'm not opposed to it. I still do it because I know what it can help me. I know it can help me feel more confident. I know it can help me connect to myself, especially if I use it right. That's why people also get what they call the hero something, where people just, you get overconfident on alcohol too, where they feel like they could beat up anybody. It's because you're your true self, bro. You feeling that true confidence that is also the other side of people that we lack. Like, some people are over depressed and they keep using these drugs, and some people get overconfident and keep using the drugs. It's two different seats on the same train type shit. And pretty much, it's just your whole way of using it. Like, you could be, I guess, one way is negative, one way is using it in a positive way, but it's still not being balanced about it, in a sense. The best way I should explain it. But everybody know you get that confidence and that, you just feel better about yourself when you're on that 2 or 3 shots. But when you start going past that, you feel a little worse and shit like that. But I think it's about balance. And I go to the drugs that I feel like you really shouldn't use, because, like, I never tried meth. I've tried, I always get it confused, like crack or, like, no, I've never tried heroin. I know that for a fact. I don't know if whatever the shit I've tried it once or whatever. I'm being brutally honest with everybody. Like, I've probably tried at least every drug besides, like, meth and, like, the other drugs that you inject into yourself at least once. I probably tried a Xan once. I've tried, I don't know I don't really know the pills names, but I think I've tried like one pill each. And it was in college, and like I said, some of these things were like, bro, this shit don't do shit for me. Like, I don't even feel nothing. Like, only thing that I really felt was a lack of memory the next day. I was like, bro, I don't really remember what the fuck happened. But during that shit, I didn't feel any, like, happiness. I didn't feel shit. I was just on it type shit. And it told me just, like, I listen to myself when I do these things. I'm like, bro, I don't really fuck with this shit. Why do other people do it? Like, and then you see other people on it, they take 2 or 3 of them hoes at one time. They walking around like a zombie. I'm like, well, if I really don't feel it and it's not doing nothing for me, I damn sure don't want to be like that. So I'm like, it's really just about being real with yourself. And when I took acid when I took acid the last time, like, it was just a point where I almost meditated on on the LSD, on the psychedelic, and it made me feel like a kid again. Like, I felt like I was being born again in a sense. And I feel like I had an ego death or whatever, but I don't like to be, overly fucking confident in the shit that I do, because you never know what the fuck we're doing in this world. Like, people say they kill our egos, we don't know what we're doing. But I feel like I had a positive experience or whatever. And but it happened after just, thinking about, like, I thought about something and then I thought about something else, and it just took me on a deeper dive, and it got kind of emotional. And once that emotion triggered, it's just like I felt like a different person. And it's like, when you use these drugs the right way, they can help you tap into so much shit. And like, with psychedelics is something I want to talk about now. People think they have bad trips and shit like that, or people think they have nightmares. Well, I might have nightmares, I might have bad trips, because in other people's perspective, for somebody else to have my dreams or to have my trips, they might feel negative or bad. But it's like, well, I don't look at myself badly, and I know I'm a product of my environment. I know the things that happen to me only, like, shit that I've just succumbed to, and my only option is really to grow out of it. Like, at this point, can't blame yourself. You can the only thing you really should do is accept it and just try to grow from it, and don't really judge yourself and shit like that. And I think that's another problem we have on drugs too. Like, we'll judge ourselves instead of just looking at it for face value. And it's like, really, our perspective on life is so flawed. So when you do these drugs, it fucks with you. And I guess they go back to, I wouldn't say education, because education is not going to help you introspect into self, but it is a certain type of knowledge and wisdom that you do have to learn before I guess you should dabble into these things. Because I'm not about to give, because you got to think about this, how I look at it. I'm not about to give a kid some fucking alcohol or say, any kid alcohol, because they're just too young. They're not, it's not for their body, they're not developed. But thinking of on the same wave of, we're all just little kids that really haven't developed because our parents didn't learn shit really that help us grow, and their parents didn't learn shit. Like J. Cole said, we just products of our environment, and and we're products of our family that, passed up shit and forgot about shit and ignored shit, and we're the butt of that shit. So it's like, what was I saying? Can't judge yourself and shit like that, but it's like, we're really just kids. Like, even these 40, 50-year-old, 60-year-old people walking around, they're really just kids in their mind. So they're really abusing drugs as a kid because they're mentally a child. Like, even though they're adult, even though they're a grown-ass man, they still think like a fucking child. They never had full thoughts. Like, honestly, like, I've run into people all different ages. I'm like, bro, you really think like this? You really think this is what's going on? Like, I guess, fam, it's like, where's that shit getting you? Nowhere. Like, period. Like, and that's why I don't choose to just look up to my ancestors with just this, admiration and just, straight bliss. Like, I question that shit that they did, because at the end of the day, bro, we wouldn't be in these problems. We wouldn't be the butt of our fucking, like, we wouldn't be having to pick up the pieces. But the fact that we are, I mean, it just shows, like, the flaws in this world. Like, bro, we have 70-year-old, 80-year-old, 90-year-old people walking around still thinking like they were fucking 10 and 12, because what real knowledge did they ever pick up since, really, after you graduate high school, what do you really grasp besides fitting in? Really, middle school, what do you really, elementary. Middle school and elementary, you start learning new shit. But after middle school, you pretty much just learning the same recycled shit. And it's like, you really just learn how to fit in after that. So what really new shit are you learning till you die? Nothing. So it's like, bro, you really stop learning at the age of like 19 and 20. You might learn some new shit, but it's still evolving around that same kid mentality. You never really grew up to, like, another example. People say, what's the dude that he got YouTube little things, and he motivational white dude. Start with a T or some shit. I forgot his name, but pretty much he talk about how is a mentality of being an owner than there's a mentality of being an employee. Well, how do these people get the mentality of being an owner and these other people get the mentality of being an employee? It's because somebody gave them elevated knowledge. Somebody gave them elevated ways of thinking about how to run shit. When you going to work, to clock in, you think about doing your job. When they wake up, they think about who they got to pay, they think about all the different things to make the system keep going. And it's like, it's a whole nother way of thinking that you really is easy to tap into. It's just you don't really know to be aware of these things because you never really had that insight or experience or knowledge or wisdom. So it's like, if they keep you in this one role of just working for people after you get out of high school and pretty much never growing your own business, pretty much never producing for yourself, like, you're going to be one track minded. Like, oh, I need to go to work, I need to earn money, and then I need to pay this shit so I can get it. Like, you wouldn't think of any other way of living life. You wouldn't think about, or you don't think about other ways of change besides voting, because you only been given the way of voting. You don't think of these other ways. Like, bro, it's, like I said, we products of our environment. We don't realize that we really been trapped in the same way of thinking for a long time, and we haven't elevated our mind to the God potential or to the heavenly state. And in that same statement, we're still kids, teenagers, still learning. So when we do these drugs, we become abusive because what do kids do? They overdo. You give them candy, they're gonna get sugar aches. Like, that's what they do. Mentality. Like, kids don't know balance. Like, that's a adult mentality, learning balance. Like, a lot of parents that don't know balance. A lot of adults don't know balance. There's many things that help you be more mature in adulting that parents don't have, like, period. And it's crazy to think of because, you know, it's like, what have you been doing? But it's like, shit, the same thing everybody else been doing for years, following on this system and this rat race. And it's like, only people that's gonna change it is the kids. And if the kids don't realize this shit, maybe hopefully your kids will realize. And it'll keep being the system, it'll keep being a trap. But I don't want to keep going on and rambling. I like what I said so far. And yeah, you know me, see, look, I be deleting like 5 videos when I fuck up. See, let me just go. I'm out. No more knowledge. Just leave, Bryce. Leave.